No nii.
Good morning from me. Yes, indeed. As Urmas said, I am an alumni of this school. And that's one other reason I am here to talk about civil protection, because I've been in this field for 30 years, 10 years been in a director's role. And regarding civil protection, we have actually managed to achieve a fair bit. And now, indeed, I am a rector of the Academy of Security Science. We also have people who are not aware that the Academy is quite a unique institution in Europe, because in addition to civil and rescue protection, we train police and border guards, tax officers, EMTs, we have vocational studies, we have bachelor studies, we have master studies, and we also do research activities. We have an Institute of Internal Security. So it's quite an interesting place, but it's definitely justified itself in a corporational sense. And if I talk about security, I also talk a lot about cooperation. But before that, I would like to thank all the participants who are here to talk. And I'm honored to be here myself today, but a special thank you goes to Mr. Hans Das, who is the pillar of the European Union civil protection movement. They probably won't admit it, but they know more about the mechanism than anyone else, and you can ask him all the relevant questions. They know all the details and the larger picture. So I have managed to work alongside him for a long time, so definitely ask lots of so where are we today? So we would understand here in Estonia, just to give that overview to our external partners. So next to Russia, we're still next to Russia in the same way as we have been for years, and they're an aggressor state who is hostile towards its neighbors and has imperialistic wishes. And the fact that there's war in Ukraine needs no further explanation, but on Sunday it was discovered that the Baltic connector, the connecting cables have been disrupted, and these are man-made injuries. So how were they broken? Only time will tell, but this will create a further background explanation to where we are. We are a border state, we are on the front line, and this gives us a complicated background. So we are not always understood, but our main mission is to talk about our situation and to explain ourselves to our allies, but also at the same time to support our allies to understand their worries. So if in Greece a lot of forests are burning down and people are dying, then we need to support them as well, because this gives us a prerequisite and gives us an opportunity so that they will then help us when we will be in trouble. But it's not just the security situation, but climate is also in the background. A couple of days ago, we had very serious storms and further storms ahead. But where does security and safety begin? It starts with every person. It starts with the community, local governments, the state, institutions, ministries, and also international cooperation. And this safety is created when everyone fulfills their part and a little bit more, where they also cooperate and where they ensure that there's prevention in place, there's preparedness, reaction, and the restoration phase, and everything that we've experienced that we would learn from that. So everyone can do their part and a little bit more. And of course we need equipment and functioning systems, so we would all match together, so we would have this cooperation, so we would recognize when crisis hits what the risks are and how to react to those. But all will in the end be based on knowledge, skills and stances. Estonian preparation, as the minister mentioned before, improved a lot over the last 4 or 5 years, and civil protection has taken further steps in their development, and the critics training also showed that, where they actually role-played massive evacuation. And I happened to be a bystander there, and I said it was amazing. There's places to learn from, but we have actually progressed a lot, and in cooperation and in the capacity of institutions. But we also have worries. And one of the worries that the survey showed that the civil people's own preparedness for any crisis has even maybe dropped. We have done a lot of prevention work, but actually the situation is not very good. COVID has progressed in preparedness for crisis. Legislation, local governments, have progressed, and legislations haven't been changed or amended for different reasons. There we have political reasons here, elections, but the time requires that the current time requires that we would be ready, and the means for civil protection are not sufficient. We've had some investments, but at the moment we're trying to keep this system going, but in order to develop, we don't have enough power to do that. Also, the economic state of the country is here in the background. We can't afford everything. We're a small country, and there are several reasons behind it. I don't want to point any fingers, but I'm just stating where we are. We're definitely in a better position than we've ever been. But what I see from the training side, being in charge of an educational institution, is that the Academy of Security Science does not provide enough crisis training to all domains. There's not a strong additional training system in the country. Not enough trainings are being ordered by the state, but the academy itself hasn't been reactive enough to be prepared to provide all of this. And what has happened is that state security studies are mandatory, and internal security studies are already integrated to secondary schools, but we don't have a competence center in the academy that would focus on crisis and civil protection, and this is something we need to do. But as I said before, we don't have enough means, and we can't have many more of them because we are a small country, and if we don't have enough means, then first and foremost we should contribute in training of people, their knowledge and research. And this gives us the best basis for things to be done, because only then things will happen if people know what they're doing. Campaigns are not enough. They will not carry on this knowledge to people, local governments and institutions. Yes, we are training, but we need to do more, that all employees of local governments would know how to prepare for a crisis, how to assess risks, how to act. And same on the state level. We have people here who are ready for a crisis and who are able to plan for civil protection. There's not many people like that, so we need to contribute to this, to develop also degree studies, and that we would have a very clear competence center that would focus on the most important trainings regarding civil protection. And this is our common challenge. The success of Estonia as a country has been the knowledge and the wisdom of our people, so we need to contribute to that. And obviously to research activities. We see that people's awareness is going down, but we can respond with science and research. We should have one doctorate of civil protection in our academy, but we haven't been able to find these people because there are no people like that in Estonia. We need to have a doctoral program that would be focused on crisis, civil protection and preparedness in our field, just to use their scientific potential. This is the only opportunity. Yes, this will take 4 years, but if we don't start today, then we won't have this scientific activity.
Ministeeriumid, ametid, kuigi loomulikult kõik. For this reason, I would like to invite everyone to contribute towards these goals, the ministries, but also those who want to dedicate their lives to science. It is also important to work at the international basis and not believe that we are here alone. It's important to cooperate in research, in education, and we are already taking the first steps. There is international master's degree possibility and other options. It all starts from education. To conclude, I would say, like a great man has said before, that we cannot be big as a nation, but we can be big in our capacities. This academy was founded when we barely had anything, but there was a will to create an educational institution. We must keep going, even if our resources are scarce. We need to train our people, and we need to ask difficult questions. We must cooperate with researchers and with other good partners, as well as with scientific partners from other countries, in order to resolve this situation. We are one Europe, and we have one civilian protection system in Europe, and this is what should guide our way of thinking. So let us contribute towards education and research and good alliances. And the question that was first asked was, where does civil protection begin? I would say it starts at school. It starts from research, and in Estonia, it must very often start from the Estonian Academy of Security Sciences. Thank you.
Aitäh, Kuno.
Thank you, Kuno. I would like to take this opportunity to ask about something you said about further training. Regarding PhD studies, the roadmap is quite clear, but when you talk about civil protection, then a lot of this should happen in quite small local governments. Their councils change every 4 years, there are new leaders, new people in charge, and there are also local interests. Quite often the active people might be there, but they simply cannot acquire further education. So how do you see the micro degrees should work, for instance? We already have 5 micro degrees which are related to crisis preparation, and we want to add something even further to this. The way to do it is if we have our top practitioners teaching at the academy, not only as external lecturers but also doing research here. But micro degrees are not sufficient. We need a holistic further education system. For instance, if you become a minister, you must go through a training regarding internal security. But apart from political leaders, there are also officials. We need to train these officials at the local level, and we need to teach them. This is the training system that can be created on the basis of our academy. People, I repeat, must know what this field is about. They must know how to be prepared and how to act in case of crisis. It is difficult, and it requires a very systematic and long-term approach. There's a question posted on Workshop. Let me ask you, as a rector, do we have anything in the legislative space that needs to be adapted? Our legislation definitely needs to be adapted. The government office has been working hard on this. The current parliament is not able to take decisions very well at the moment, but it is crucial to make decisions and make changes, because we must be prepared for today's situation, but also for future security situation. This way, each part of the state can understand much better what their tasks are. And I must remind you that the science is not something that does it itself. People need to be trained, and only if people are trained can they carry out legislative norms the way they should be. But I'm sure that our next speaker, Tammearu, will be able to tell you much more about this from the government's perspective. Thank you and have a nice day.